Welcome back, everyone. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm super excited today because I get to do a marathon with Scott. With Scott A, and pretty much so Scott is gonna choose a song and then I get to choose a song based on that, and then he does another, so and then I do another, and then we have one that's just like the end. And so I'm super excited because I've been thinking it's so crazy hard to come up with a good choice, you know. So I have a faint idea what I'm getting into. It's so I already know what I would like to play on the channel because it doesn't get any kind of playtime. So amongst these you know, bigger artists, I love to kind of like, you know, insert stuff that not everybody knows. So yeah, it's been a couple of like hours to make up my mind, and so yeah, I'm super excited. Let me just read real quick what Scott provided me with here, and actually it's not just one, it's two marathons, but it says really quickly. So this is called I Pick You Pick. And this is one I've been wanting to do for a while, sort of a musical selection improvisation. And that's what's so cool about this. The idea is I'll pick a song and then you pick a song from your personal favorites unknown to me. So I have so many personal favorites, but I also don't want to go whole crazy. And because my favorite music is sometimes a little bit weird, you know, it's just like, it's not really like user friendly, if you want to say, you know. So I'm gonna go with stuff that actually sounds good to everyone, you know, but also that I love as well. And so then repeat the process one more time, and then you can decide to perhaps just to go on the fly. So I wanted to do, when I read it, I was like, yeah, I don't want to mess it up. I did want to listen to them, but I haven't listened to yours. I just know the artist, so I know what I'm getting into, and I know how I can contrast these artists with. So it says, because I didn't listen to snippets, so but he suggested that, but I didn't do it. And then it says, feel free to improvise and do however you feel like. So thank you so much for this opportunity, you know. So we're gonna do this. So we're gonna start it off with the John Scofield band. So I know it's John Scofield, so I'm like, okay, this is gonna get pretty crazy. So I'm gonna counter it with some Peter Fernandez and Greg Howe, and that song has a bass solo in that it just blows my mind. So that's kind of like a cool counter. So we're gonna do a John Scofield band from the album Uber Jam 2002. This is called Offspring, and we're gonna do my song. Well, I wish it was mine, but my choice, Peter Fernandez and Greg Howe, and playing Dorothy. This is gonna blow your mind, from the album QED. I hope, you know, this is sometimes when these artists also reach out and say, hey, thank you so much for like reacting to my music. No, I'm humbled to show your music because with all these artists, you know, like it's a humbling experience. Whether it be, you know, the biggest of the big, it's humbling, you know. Like I love to do it because I want to push these artists forward, and some people don't know, you know, Steely Dan, you know, like I didn't know Steely Dan, and it's music that is not as popular anymore. So if I can do something to change that, then I'm all there, you know. So after that, we're gonna do Weather Report, which is like, seriously, Weather Report. I love Weather Report. So I haven't really listened to too much, but what I've listened to is amazing, you know. Mr. Gone, the album Mr. Gone. So I'm gonna look who's on this, and this is called Punk Jazz, and then I get another pick. And I've picked a German artist called Michael Schmidt, or aka MSM Schmidt, based in Bremen, or Bremen, how you say it in Germany. And he is a musician, amazing musician, but he's also a insurance. He has a job at a large insurance firm, so he does this on the side. So I can't push this artist enough, and he plays this song with none other than Scott Kinsey, Jimmy Haslip, Jimmy Haslip, Scott Kinsey from give me a second, I have it. Okay, so the lineup here is Dave Weckl, which I met when we went to see live here in Denver at a very small jazz club, and he was such a nice guy. We took a picture together. The guitar player Oz Noy as well, very cool guy. And then there's Alan Holdsworth. They got Alan Holdsworth to play a solo, and then Scott Kinsey. Let me see, from I don't know what's. He is on one of my favorite albums, like literally with Scott Henderson. Let's see, Scott Kinsey, and then also in Jimmy Haslip. They travel. These are like in the same. Gary Husband, Richard Hallebeek, Gary Novak, all these it's all these guys who are like these crazy fusion players. Steve Hunt, Gary Willis, and here's the band that I'm talking about, which is Tribal Tech. All right, and then we so this is what we're gonna do, and this is called Trance, from the album Life, like my life. And then we're gonna do from the Doobie Brothers, we're gonna do Slacky Soquel Rag. I don't know if I butchered this, but I might. And this is from the album Stampede. This is just like a little outro. But yeah, I'm super excited to do this. And oh my god, it's like the longest intro. But hey, a marathon like this requires a little bit of explanation why stuff is happening. So give me just one moment. I'll get some coffee and we'll get this going. All right. Okay, so we're back, and let's give it up here for the John Scofield band from the album Über Jam. I love with the umlaut. Über Jam, and this is Offspring. So here we go. Thank you so much, Scott, for sponsoring this. I'm super, super happy, and yeah. Let's get into it. This is going to be filled with a lot of jazz and crazy stuff. So I hope you enjoy, all you fusion freaks out there. I hope you enjoy, and this is going to be a lot of fun. So let's give it up here for John Scofield and his band. And I hope a lot of people that love fusion are watching this, and I hope there's going to be more of these crazy marathons, put together. And I wish I could do those live, but it's just such a hassle to get the audio to sound correct on yours side. So this is going to be most about the music. I mean, all these marathons are about the music, but this is instrumental music, and it's just like, I just want it to sound perfectly. Okay, so here we go with Offspring. Let's go. Okay. Crazy. So good. I mean, the whole band, it sounded literally like, Scott, if you're into this stuff, you have to check out the band. I don't know why it keeps escaping from my mind. Gary Willis and Tribal Tech. That kind of improv, you know, that's the stuff that I listen. That's literally the stuff that I listen to. This kind of music, and yes, a lot of people are like, "What the hell is going on?" But for me, as a musician, as a guitar player, this is what gets me the kicks, because it's like, it's so unpredictable, and the outside playing is so rich, and it's so difficult to do also. And this is like the stuff I've been working on for the last years, you know, just to get and it's not even working on scales anymore, because scales pretty much, it is all improvisation. You have to know the scales, you have to know which chords he's in to pretty much, you know, to be able to do this, you know. It's more about active listening and recognizing, and then you have to take that leap of faith and say, okay, this is where he's at and this is where he's going, because it's like, there's a couple of rules, of course, but most of it is like, you know, most of the rules are being broken. And this is the beauty of jazz or jazz fusion like this. I mean, the drums were amazing. The whole rhythm section, the drums, the bass. And now, as someone who's like trying, and I can never teach Alexia how to play bass because I'm not a bass player, but I can teach her the music, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to teach her how to read, and I'm trying to teach her, you know, right now I've taught her pretty much, you know, the pentatonic scale on the bass. Now she can play stuff like, you know, Deep Purple, and she can play a little bit of Rush, you know, like little intro sections, little passages, because it's like beep 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 deep 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 deep, you know, that kind of stuff on the bass. And she's like, wow, like I can do so much just because of one scale. And it's so much fun, man. But yeah, I mean, but the technique I will never be able to know. I can just tell her, yes, what fingers to use. And the bass obviously is similar. It's a similar instrument, but in sound and everything that goes around, she needs a teacher. But I'm just so excited because she is getting into it, and she is very talented. And you're going to see a lot of videos, because I'm trying to push her to, you know, to get better, and also like to show, you know, what she's doing. But yeah, this was just insane. I mean, John Scofield, I have to get more into him, you know. I that effect that he was putting on, that little, like, it almost sounded like he was doing, it was not like an octave, but it was just kind of like a pitch. I have this effect on my pedal as well, where you can pretty much, you play and then you click on the pedal, and then it goes, I think it goes up half a step, and then you can go up like a whole note, and then you can just go up like chromatically, and just, it sounds super bizarre, but it sounds like this, you know. And now when you're playing outside and you're playing these kind of scales, it just sounds like, whoa, there's like two guitars doing this crazy stuff. I love it. Okay, so this was amazing start. So I'm gonna try and match this. Peter Fernandez is a amazing pianist. Like, I wish, please go to his website or his YouTube channel and subscribe. He's an amazing musician, has worked with the best, literally. But you know, that's the problem sometimes, that these musicians don't get any recognition. It's like, you know, it's insane. And he's playing here with Greg Howe. I think on the drums we have Virgil Donati, who's a monster. a monster drummer, one of the best in the world. And but also it doesn't get the recognition he deserves. You know, it's just like it's insane that these musicians are not at higher places. I think he's on the drums, and then the bass player, I really don't know. You know, I tried to look it up. There's just not enough information on this album. But let me look one more time here. So Peter, I literally looked, and so we also have guys like Richard Hallabeek on this album, but it just doesn't say like who is on this album. Let's see. Maybe I get lucky here. Okay, cool. Okay. So I'm doing track. Give me one moment. And this is on Spotify. So track number 6. So who's on the bass? Rick Fiberace. Oh my God, he's so good. He has played with Brad Garrett. And then drums. It looks like it's Shea Galas. Okay, so it's not Virgil. Okay, Virgil is not on this track. But wow. So the guitar solo is Greg Howe. And who else is on this track? Number 6. Let's see. Fretless bass. So this is this crazy solo that I'm talking about. Rick Fiberace. It plays the solo on this, and the solo is like it has tapping. It's like just crazy. And Peter Fernandez is on the keyboard. So enjoy. And if any one of these musicians that I just mentioned sees this, please leave a comment so we can interview you or something, you know, on this channel. And this goes also to John Scofield, you know, if Rick Beato doesn't get you first. So let's go with Dorothy. Peter Fernandez and Greg Howe. Here we go. Yes. That bass solo, check it out. Jesus. Wow. It's been a while since I've heard this song. Greg Howe, what an amazing player. I mean, totally underrated, never mentioned. I've been listening to him since I don't know, since I started, but I didn't know what he was doing. It took me years and years to understand his technique, which is a lot of legato, mostly a lot of legato with string skipping and a lot of tapping, so he gets that liquidy, like, and I for the longest time, I didn't know what he was doing because I was listening to other players like Aldi Meola, which is very, staccato and every note is being picked. And here with this Greg Howe, he a lot of notes are just like being played with legato, so you don't pick him, and all this jumping around. But I mean, on this track, I mean, the bass player, he killed it. The drummer, Peter Fernandez, with his awesome, he didn't play a solo, but I mean, just the chords and the atmosphere. What is all this hair? My hair is so long that it just keeps falling. But I mean, the drumming and everything is just like crazy. I love this. This is the stuff that I listen to, like this. I honestly don't listen to a lot of music with lyrics because I've been listening to this kind of music since I was, I don't know, like 20 or something. And that's just where I got stuck. I was just listening to and I was constantly looking for more and more, of this kind of music. So I totally stopped listening to what I was listening to at the time, Dream Theater and Symphony X and everything that had lyrics was just like, no, I need instrumental. So I pretty much listened to all Greg Howe's discography. And another amazing guitar player I finally got to see live is Richie Kotzen, and he just blew my mind. Alexia and we went to see him with Alexia's dad, and he has played with Greg Howe on 2 albums. One is called Tilt and the other one is called Project, and that's pretty much what they do. It's like insane. It's like guitar acrobatics fusion galore. If you're into that kind of stuff, it's gonna like blow you away. And luckily they're on Spotify, these 2 albums. Check him out, Greg Howe and Richie Kotzen. And Richie Kotzen is insane because the guy plays like this and he also sings like a god. He literally sings like Chris Cornell. But I like his singing even better than Chris Cornell. I know a lot of people would disagree because Chris Cornell is a legend, in the music industry with, his grunge Soundgarden and everything he did. But I think I love Richie's voice a little bit better. But yeah, check him out. So I hope you enjoy this. Now we're going to go back to Scott's and we're going to listen to Weather Report. Weather Report. Okay, this is called Punk Jazz. I've not heard this before. And let me just pull up. I want to see who is on this record because Weather Report is, let's see, Weather Report, Mr. Gone. Let's see, we have some Jaco on this. Jaco Pastorius. I wouldn't be surprised. This is like, okay, this came out in 1978. Wow. Okay. So we got Wayne Shorter on the tenor alto. Jaco Pastorius on bass. Peter, oh my God, Peter Ehrenskine. I'm sorry that I'm mispronouncing this, but I know who it is because I did some marathons for RG, and this guy was on the drums. Peter Erskine. Holy moly, this is going to be so good. And then we have Joe. Let me see. Sawino on the keyboards. Oh yeah, I've heard him before. I heard him as well from Germany, right? Let's see. Wait. Oh, from Vienna. Okay, from Austria. And what's this? Well, we have him on like everything: piano, Prophet 5, anything that's like crazy synthesizer. So, and then what is this track? Wow, there's an amazing lineup on this. So this is track number 6. So we have Tony Williams on drums. Tony Williams, I love Tony Williams because of Alan Holdsworth. Tony Williams' lifetime, what they did together. So, and Steve Gadd is, wait a minute, is he also on number 6? It looks like, no, 3 and 8. Okay, so Tony Williams is on the track that we're going to listen to. Man, this is going to get good. And yeah, Jacko's on the bass. Wayne Shorter's only on track 1, so we're not going to listen to Wayne. And then Peter. Okay, so Peter's not on this track. So it's Tony Williams, Jaco Pastorius. And yeah, I mean, this is going to be freaking insane. Okay, so here we go with punk jazz. Here we go. Jaco. Oh my God. So it is Wayne. It is Wayne. can't believe it's over. This was so good. So it was let's see. So Wayne Shorter did play, of course, but he also does the vocals on track 1, so that had me confused. Man, what a lineup, you know. I mean, Peter, Jacko, Wayne, and Joe, and on this track, Tony on the drums. Holy moly, that was insane. Okay, just give me just one moment. All right, so next one on the list is going to be Trance from the album Life, and this is by MSM Schmidt. And like I said, it has Dave Weckl on the drums, Alan Holdsworth on the guitar, Scott Kinsey on the keyboards, Jimmy Haslip on bass. So be ready. This is going to be really, really cool as well. I've done this. I just noticed that I did this with Alexia. If you want to watch it, her reaction and my first reaction, but it didn't get a lot of views. It's one of those videos that are just like hidden in the channel. So I wanted to give this song another chance. It's really good. There's a lot to love here. The bass line, the drumming, that solo by Alan Holdsworth. I could have chosen a different track, but this is really a track that I wanted to, instead of just playing something by Holdsworth, or by maybe, just put all these awesome plays together and give it another try. So I hope you enjoy, and here we have Trance. Enjoy. Holdsworth. Wow. I actually, when I met Dave Weckl on that evening when we saw Oznoi, I told him I love your drumming on Trance, and he's like, "Oh yeah," and I think he didn't even, these musicians, they play so much music, and I was like, "Yeah, the one where Alan Holdsworth plays the solo," and he's like, "Oh yeah," so man, and I loved particularly, the sax here, so good. The drums are just fantastic. That solo by Scott Kinsley. And Alan Holdsworth, he took it very slow, and he gets, criticized sometimes that he's just too, just speed. Man, the guy is so expressive, whether he plays slow or fast. This was a slower solo, which I really love because I can actually, try and, play it. And I have, all the gear that Alan Holdsworth used to use. I have the same pedals, so I get that tone because his tone is one of the most recognized, for me, I recognize pretty much anyone like Pat Metheny or Aldi Meola or but Alan Holdsworth has this really, there's a lot of delays on there, so it has this very particular sound, and a lot of people don't like it. I have no idea why. It just sounds beautiful. And he obviously, the way he plays, the only legato approach makes it almost sound like not a guitar. And a lot of people don't like that it doesn't sound like a guitar. And especially when he plays the syntax, obviously it sounds like a keyboard, But man, that phrasing, nobody has that phrasing. Nobody. You can ask any guitar player, professional or beginner, about Holdsworth, and they're gonna tell you, yeah, he's the best. He's, even one of the greatest guitar players still alive or not alive anymore. When there's a whole Wikipedia page on people when he passed, that said how much of an influence he was to them and just to everyone. And then there's players who don't get it, who don't get into Holdsworth, which I understand. But for me, he has been pretty much my guitar idol, or almost like musician, idol, ever since I kind of understood. At first, I was just mesmerized by his speed, but I didn't understand what he was doing. And now I'm kind of getting closer to, I actually understand what he's playing and why and all this stuff. There is a reason that he sounds the way he sounds, and because there are some people who've really taken a deep dive into his style and kind of like deciphered the magic, and it's fascinating to see. Okay, so last track. This has been so much fun. Thank you, Scott. We're gonna do some Doobie Brothers, and this is gonna be called Slack Key. I can't pronounce that, but here we go. I'm just gonna butcher it, So here we go with the Doobies. I love them. Here you go. Beautiful. Wow, beautiful song. Wow, beautiful instrumental work here by the Doobies. Holy moly, we're gonna go see them, definitely. And first, and they're like not even that expensive, the tickets, but it doesn't matter, I mean, the Doobies, it's like watching. They're such legends, and so. I mean, and then if you can see them, for a reasonable price, and then, I mean, Michael McDonald's gonna be with them, that had to be, for Alexia, it had to have Michael, because he's such an iconic figure, and not just with the Doobies, but also with Steely Dan, and just in the 80s, he was everywhere, right? 70s and 80s, and she just wants to really see him, and, honestly, me too. But I mean, I would have gone even without Michael McDonald, because I just love the band and I know they're amazing. But man, this was such a fun marathon. Thank you so much, Scott. I can't wait to do the other one you requested, and I wish you an amazing vacation. Take good care of yourself, and enjoy your time. And we'll see, we'll be here when you get back. And thank you so much. This was so much fun. This is literally this is the stuff that I love. I already know a cool title for the marathon. I know you gave me one, but I might tweak a little bit in the thumbnail, but without, not changing your idea too much. But hey, this was so good. Thank you so much, everyone. Let me know what you thought of this. Did you have a good time? Would you like to hear more fusion? This is what I originally wanted to do with the channel. I just wanted to make a channel with jazz fusion content, and because that's all I listened to at the time. And then we got into all these other great bands. We didn't know about Steely Dan, we didn't know about Genesis, Rush. I mean, everything you see in the background, we were pretty much like, we knew of them. I mean, I'd never heard Steely Dan before, not even the name, but which is so crazy, now that I think of it. But I mean, Genesis, of course, I've heard before of the name. Rush, I've heard an entire record, but it was just like not in our, in our lives, the way it is now, ELP and everything. Yes, we had no idea. I mean, we thought we knew good music, like Pink Floyd and, little bit of the Moody Blues and a little bit here and there, but we had no idea that we had such a small idea of how much music there is, So this has been a blessing and a great lesson, in life. And just like, it has been amazing, all the music that I can now say that I know, just because of having this channel. And it's also has impacted my playing, Alexia's playing, everything, everything. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching and, for liking the videos, commenting, and let me know what you thought of this one. So thank you again so much. Thank you, Scott. See you all in the next one.